Hello everyone, my name is Cody Pena, and today we are going to be looking at ADS systems in Fortnite and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. More specifically, we are going to focus on player limitations and bullet interactions with the reticle while aiming down sights. We will not be covering reticle blooms due to time constraints and mass amounts of variation between states, weapons, and games. Starting off with Fortnite, let's look at movement speed while aiming down sights. It appears that player movement is consistent regardless of which weapon type you have equipped. Upon my research, it looks like developers may have just made an ADS state into their player controller. When ADS is triggered from walk or run, you arrive at the same state where the player movement is locked at about 50% standard walk rate. Crouching is similar, but the difference in movement speed is not as great. When you aim, your movement is reduced by about 10%. The last movement instance we will observe is jumping. You can go into jump from crouch or stand. However, you cannot go into ADS while in the air, and it will pull you out of ADS if you jump while looking down sights. Lastly, we will look at bullet spawn and travel path in relation to the cursor. The bullets spawn somewhere inside the gun towards the chest, but follow a ray from the tip to the cursor. Furthermore, the cursor seems to shoot a ray of its own and sets the distance from the player based on ray impact. This way, the bullets will move to the point where the cursor is impacting the object. This works well until you are standing directly in front of a wall. You can see that the bullet's impact hits the cursor but does not line up with the gun barrel. This is the same for all weapons. Next, we'll be looking at the same interactions for PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. PUBG's cursor and player limitations are similar with a few differences. Much like Fortnite, all of these observations are consistent across all guns. When the player looks down the sights while walking, their movement speed is reduced by about 50%. When ADS is activated while crouching, the character flows into the same state as above. The ADS while crouch speed is the same as the ADS while walking speed. The last interaction we will observe is ADS and jumping. This one is interesting. As you can see, the player is aiming down sights and jumps, they are pulled out of it like in Fortnite. However, if you are in the air and try and aim down sights, it seems as though it starts to go into the state but is overridden by being in the air. The last thing we will cover is bullet spawn and its connection to the cursor. It seems to work exactly like Fortnite, where the bullet is spawned from the gun tip and travels to where the cursor ray is hitting an object. However, PUBG introduces a weapon pullback when the gun is hitting the wall, making the gun angle up. When you fire a shot with the gun angled due to wall impact, the bullet completely ignores the cursor and leaves straight from the gun barrel. Let's recap. Fortnite and PUBG player limitations are similar and use the same bullet to target system, but PUBG systems are more advanced, introducing a wall interaction mechanic. Both games limit walking speed at about the same rate. Crouching in Fortnite limits the player even slower, and PUBG crouch speed is the same as its walk speed. The main difference is that PUBG, the weight of the gun will affect movement speed, but the walk and crouch speed ratio remains the same. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.